You think you can just walk back in here and everything is fine? Well, it's not fine, Lena. It is not fine.
My dad slapped me so hard my vision went white and the walls of my condo seemed to lean sideways. There was no warning, no shouting match building up to it. Just his hand, my face, and one word I wasn't supposed to say to him in this lifetime. No. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us where you're listening from. My name is Lena Cross, and for most of my life, I survived by being the quiet one. Not invisible, just the one who didn't need anything. My brother Ethan filled every room like he owned the air, and my parents, Howard and Margaret, worshipped that. He's destined for something big, they'd say. Lena's steady. She'll be fine. So I became fine. I built a life around numbers and order. My condo in Fort Wayne was my sanctuary. Warm lights, clean lines, shelves organized by color and height. I liked coming home to silence. Silence doesn't lie. The night everything shifted. Fall was already in the air. Cold, thin, smelling like burning leaves and change. I just kicked off my heels and poured coffee when my doorbell rang. 3 fast, frantic chimes. Nobody rings like that unless there's an emergency or a story. I opened the door to see my parents standing there with 2 suitcases each, like travelers who'd missed their flight. Margaret's eyes were glossy. Howard's jaw was locked. "We lost the house," my mother whispered, pulling me into a hug that felt rehearsed. "Bad investments. We have nowhere to go." I stepped aside. What else do you do when your parents announce they're homeless? I told them they could stay a few days. The way my dad exhaled long and relieved made my stomach twist. Within hours, my mother was in my kitchen, rifling through my cabinets like she'd lived there for years. "You need better spices," she murmured, rearranging everything. My dad took over my couch, shoes off, remote in hand like it was his. "Did you talk to a lawyer?" I asked. "Or the bank?" "It's complicated," my mom said. "We're figuring it out," my dad added without looking at me. I recognized that tone, the one they used when the truth was inconvenient. Then came the small signs. Her skincare bottles lining my bathroom counter. His screwdriver on my hallway door. The way they said "we" when they talked about the condo. "It feels like home already," my mother smiled. Silence makes wrong sounds louder. And my condo was starting to sound like a lie. By the 3rd morning I called Noah Grant, my old college friend who now worked as a real estate attorney. "I need you to check something," I said on my balcony, fingers tight around my phone. "My parents say they lost their house." Hours later he called back. His tone told me more than his words. "Lena, they didn't lose it," he said. "They sold it. Cash sale. $950,000, wired straight into a property under Ethan Cross's name." My hand closed around the cold metal railing. "So they sold their house," I whispered, "and bought my brother a $950,000 home." "I'm afraid so," Noah said. "They didn't lose anything. They chose. And now they're living with you because they don't have a house anymore." I walked back inside and looked at them properly. Margaret building neat little pyramids of cans in my pantry. Howard half disassembling my hallway door. For a man's touch. They hadn't come to me as victims. They'd come to me as a backup plan. The confrontation started the next morning over coffee. "You two need to start looking for another place," I said. They just didn't know yet how far I was willing to go to enforce that sentence. My condo was quiet after the police escorted my parents out, but it wasn't the comforting silence I loved. It was sharper. A reminder that something had broken open inside my family, and whatever was coming next wasn't finished. Revenge stories don't end with a slap. They start there. 3 days later, I got a call from Chloe, my brother Ethan's girlfriend. Her voice was thin, frantic. "Lena, are your parents with you?" "No." A shaky breath. "He can't keep doing this. He won't talk. He won't explain anything." The call dropped. 2 weeks passed before anyone contacted me again. This time it was my grandmother Ruth. Her tone was steady, but I could hear something heavy beneath it. "You need to come over," she said. "It's time you heard what's going on." When I arrived, sunlight ran across her kitchen table, illuminating a stack of newspapers and printouts, the kind of evidence sweet revenge listeners wait for. She slid one toward me. A headline with the subtlety of a hammered, my stomach tightened. "It's Ethan," Ruth said quietly. He mortgaged the house. The one your parents bought him. How much? Most of it. A cold hollow ache spread through my chest. Ethan hadn't just failed. He'd detonated their entire future. And they'd rather lie to me than admit it. Before I could respond, I heard a car door slam. Ruth glanced at the window. That'll be them. My parents walked in first, Margaret's eyes swollen, Howard's shoulders collapsed. Ethan trailed behind them, pale and exhausted. They looked like a family portrait left out in the rain. We sat. Ruth didn't sugarcoat it. Talk. Margaret's voice cracked first. We sold our house to help Ethan's startup. We thought we were investing in his future. Without telling me, I said. Howard swallowed. We didn't think you'd understand. There it was, the knife that had been cutting me since childhood. Ethan finally spoke, voice shaking. I messed up. I thought I could fix everything before you found out. At my expense, I said. Nobody answered. Ruth pushed a foreclosure notice toward the center of the table. You've all made decisions. Now you face them. Howard's voice was barely a whisper. We're not asking you to fix anything, Lena. We want to earn forgiveness. If you'll let us. For the first time in weeks, the anger in my chest loosened. Not gone, but no longer choking me. I won't rescue you, I said. I won't house you. I won't carry your consequences. But I'm willing to talk. Slowly. Margaret broke into quiet, relieved sobs. Ethan wiped his eyes. Howard nodded once. In the weeks that followed, my parents stayed with Ruth. Not as victims, but as adults climbing out of their own mess. Ethan took a real job. A humble one. He called me without asking for money. And me? I changed the locks. Rearranged my condo. Not out of fear, but reclamation. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It just removes the weight from your shoulders. My home is mine again. My peace is mine again. And my future? I'm building it on my terms, one honest step at a time. If any part of my story resonated with you, share your experience in the comments, and subscribe for more stories like this.